everybody that the computer screens over here are not to be recorded. So once they unfog these, if you want to get any kind of footage of the screens that are up on the wall, that's okay, as well as footage of anything here in this room. But the computer screens that the staff are working at, please avoid recording anything there. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for being here today. Today we're here to announce a new part of our partnership with the Albuquerque Public Schools and actually a new position here at the Real-Time Crime Center. Today we're going to be hearing from Mayor Tim Keller, APS Superintendent Gabriella Blakey, APD Interim Chief of Police Cecily Barker, and APS Chief of Police Steve Gallegos. With that, I will go ahead and turn it over to Mayor Keller.
No, that's a reflection.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, got it. Okay, all right, well, good morning and welcome everyone to our Real-Time Crime Center. Just as a little bit of background, this actually is a new usage for this facility. So we really finished this about 3 years ago. And the idea is to create a crime fighting technology platform over the whole city. Obviously that requires sort of a central hub where we actually can utilize especially cameras, but also the license plate readers and see the drones and so forth. And so this is the nerve center for all of that technology crime fighting platform out here at the Real-Time Crime Center. And part of what we've done, which you see here, of course, is thousands of cameras all over the city. We also now have all of this technology integrated with respect to our officers' location. And so that's what you see that was behind me. Oh, you still see it. So these are officers, right? Because there's lapel cams. And then where there's cars, those are like cars. You get the idea. Now, one of the challenges and one of the things that we've always wanted to put together was actually integrating this effort with APS, of course, to keep our kids safe. And we know, unfortunately, when there are incidents at schools and in the worst case scenario, when there are shootings and so forth, one thing is we've always talked to each other, APS in the city, of course, and our officers always work together. And it was actually just a couple of years ago after the West Mesa shootings that we actually agreed to have shared access to cameras. But everyone agrees that speed is of the essence in these situations. And so what we're able to announce today is to really reduce that connection point to zero. APS and the city have worked together to actually have an APS officer here at the Real-Time Crime Center. And so this is actually going to reduce that sort of coordination down to a conversation in a room as opposed to even anyone having to pick up the phone. So this was a goal that was set out actually almost 20 years ago is when this concept was first outlined. But today we hope is kind of the finishing piece of full integration if needed and only when appropriate between APS and APD with respect to public safety. And so all our kids are better off for this. Our community is safer because of this partnership. And we very much appreciate, of course, the hard work behind the scenes that it does take with respect to MOUs and legalese and all of this that the APS team has been able to put together. And so this technology and the teamwork that it represents really is one of our most powerful ways to keep our kids safe. And it's really because of the partnership that we put together between the people that you hear today, but also, of course, between the two organizations. And so with a little bit more on this, let me hand it over to our superintendent, Gabriella Blakey.
Thank you, and thank you, Mayor Keller, for this opportunity to really work together to keep our schools and our students safe. It really does take a community to come together to really make sure that our kids feel safe at school. This agreement that we have reflects the strong working relationship between APS, the city, our APS Police Department, and the Albuquerque Police Department. Keeping schools safe is not something that any one agency can do alone, and it requires close coordination and communication and trust among the partners. We are fortunate to have this collaborative relationship with the city and APD, and this agreement strengthens our partnership to keep our kids safe. The agreement allows APS Police to have direct access to the City of Albuquerque's Real-Time Crime Center. This access will allow our officers to view real-time information and technology systems that support faster and more informed decision-making during any unfortunate incidents. These systems include tools such as live camera networks, shot spotter alerts, drone first responder technology, and other public safety information that is used by APD. Our goal is simple: better coordination with each other and quicker response when safety concerns arise. The Real-Time Crime Center agreement is just one piece of a much larger approach to school safety. We prioritize creating schools where students feel welcome and connected. When students feel connected to their school and know there's at least an adult that they can trust, they are more likely to speak up when there is something wrong and seek help when they need it from others. To help monitor all of this, students in grades 3 through 12 complete school climate surveys twice a year to give us insight on how safe students feel at school, how supported they feel at school, and how connected they feel at school. When students feel connected to trusted adults, they are more likely to speak up when something is wrong and tell a trusted adult. And that is one of our most powerful prevention tools. We have invested more than $60 million in safety infrastructure, including fencing, cameras, alarms, secure vestibules, card access, classroom locks that can be secured from the inside, and 24-hour security command center that monitors cameras. But this connection to the community and working with APD is going to really help in our communication and our coordination 24/7 to keep our schools and our students safe. So we thank you all for your attendance today, and we really look forward to this partnership, and very much thank the mayor and APD for all of the support in keeping our kids safe. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Superintendent. And now from the EPD perspective, Interim Chief Cecily Barker.
Thank you, Mayor. And if you haven't already noticed behind me, you're going to see some of the drone footage, and it's out at West Mesa right now. And so that's the video that you're seeing behind me. I just want to start by thanking the Mayor, our Superintendent Blakely, and Chief Gallegos for the collaboration and support to get this going, as well as our Real-Time Crime Center staff and APS staff who have helped work through this for quite some time as well. It's important to note that partnerships like this are critical in keeping our community safe, especially when it comes to our students. When incidents happen on or near campuses, information gathering and response times are crucial for an expedited response from police. Having an APS officer will help to alleviate communication delays and provide the ability to actively monitor cameras at all APS campuses. This partnership creates real-time information sharing, faster coordination, and better decision-making during critical incidents. This remains a priority and ensures that officers will be equipped with the information they need to respond quickly. The Real-Time Crime Center was designed to bring technology, intelligence, and partnerships together in one place. With APS directly assigned to the Real-Time Crime Center, we're taking this next step towards the safety of our students. This partnership reflects what's possible when agencies work together with the shared goal of improving public safety. We're breaking down silos and building a stronger public safety network. Good policing is collaboration, intelligence, and technology working together protect our community, and that's what we're doing here today. And I just want to add as well, in addition to APS being at the Real-Time Crime Center, we did announce last year that we have the Campus Crime Stoppers. And so that's where students at schools can anonymously report crimes and concerns that they're seeing at the school. And so that's something we just want to mention as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. And EPS Chief of Police, Steve Gallegos.
Good afternoon. I myself am excited and look forward to working with APD and the city on this project. It was a long time coming. We worked hard on it. Anthony Montano, thank you. Antonio Gonzalez, thank you. Chief, thank you very much. There was a lot of work behind the scenes. We got it done, and it's another layer of security at our schools to keep our kids and our staff safe. We've always worked well with APD. APD's been very supportive of school police, and I'm thankful and I appreciate all that they've done for us. And I honestly feel that we'll continue to do this under this platform and continue the work. So thank you, and we look forward to it.
Okay, before we jump into Q&A, I'm going to ask our speakers to step out this way so we could get you all can get some live shots here of this feed that's going on before we move into Q&A. So here you have the drone that's live flying right now over West Mesa High School. Yes, right, yes. At the southwest sub? It's out of the southwest sub, actually. That's where the launch is, correct, for the drone? Okay, at this time, we'll go ahead and take questions. If you could just say who you're with and who your question is for, and then we can have them come to the podium to answer.
I'm Natalie Robbins, I'm with the Journal. This question is really for whoever would like to answer, but this person is gonna be here monitoring every campus all day? Is that the idea?
Yes, they're going to monitor every campus, all the cameras within APS, and it's going to be the entire day. Yes, Monday through Friday. At this point, we'll see what happens down the road and how successful we are and what the needs will be after that.
And what sorts of things are they looking for?
They're going to monitor the cameras, but if there's an incident, they're going to be able to respond and see it and relay that information to the officers who are responding. Like the mayor said before, without a phone call, they're going to be able to do that and send it out directly after actually seeing it on camera.
Jessica?
Jessica with Channel 13. It was mentioned too that APS already has like their command center. Where they have cameras too? I think we got a tour of that last year or 2 years ago. But what's the difference, I guess, between having that command center that has cameras and monitoring capabilities compared to this?
I think the most important thing is having them here and having that direct communication with APD. And so previously that information would get to the Albuquerque Police Department, but it's delayed, right? And so now you will have personnel at the Real-Time Crime Center who works for APD as well as APS in the same room together and getting that information out rapidly.
Does that command center, is that going to still exist, the APS, or is it going to kind of go away with this?
Yes, it'll still exist, but the difference is, another difference here is that there's not an officer assigned to that command center Monday through Friday during the day. Here, that officer will be here all week long during the day, during school hours. So that's a big difference.
Any other questions?
Yes, Zach with GOV-TV. What sort of things is this officer going to be looking for while they're, looking at pretty much the entire school district?
Chief Carlos, want to answer that, or Chief?
They're going to monitor the cameras at all our school sites, but as well as whenever there's an incident that's occurring, they're going to be able to directly go to that incident and get that information and relay it in a quicker way. So the difference is, at our command center at APD, or APS rather, dispatchers are, when they're notified of an incident, they go to those cameras and try and find out what they have. Here, the officer will be able to see that directly and relay that information, not have to wait for a dispatch to relay it to an officer, or relay it to APD, relay it to an officer, and then response happens.
If I can just add to that really quick as well, I think it's really important to note that it will also be proactive. And so we've seen it at the Real-Time Crime Center where we have personnel who are just looking at the cameras proactively. They might see something suspicious. So it might be someone walking around with an unfamiliar object in their hand. They might be able to just recognize that there's people in an area of the school where they shouldn't be, and they'll be able to proactively get ahead of that. And so instead of a reactive response, if that makes sense.
Jessica?
And then when does the officer start, or have they already started? And it was mentioned that you were going to kind of monitor to see how this is working. I guess, like, when would you potentially make it? Is it not permanent right now? Is it just kind of in a trial period? And how long is that trial period?
No, it's not a trial period. An MOU's done. As far as we're concerned, it's going to happen very, very soon, within a week. We'll get somebody in there. They got to be trained. They got to understand what's going on in there. So there's going to be a learning period. But other than that, my expectation is they start right away, get in there, and learn the ropes and get it done.
And then, sorry, I was just going to say, if you could also just add to parents as to why this will actually help adding that extra layer of security. Because as it was mentioned, there's been so many different things, infrastructure put into schools. Why is this that just needed so much right now?
Give me an example. So I think, to give you an example, when we had the shootings at West Mesa, you had a situation where, of course, APS is monitoring cameras inside the school, and they're doing everything they can. APD is looking at our cameras around the school. But in that case, you had a shooter who was in, I believe, the athletic fields and then eventually moved right across the street. And even the location of the shooter is important for how they secure the school on the inside. And of course, trying to catch that shooter is what we're trying to do on the outside. That difference is, the difference of basically a football field. But the technology and the first response platforms were totally different. So what you have, which is good, is people on the phone, law enforcement professionals talking to each other about this, but they can't see each other's cameras. And I think this drone is a really good example. If we had that drone up, we could have just followed the actual incident. And possibly, we could have saved a life. Because we know that incident spilled out from the football field out to the street next door and progressed over a period of 30 minutes. And, had we actually been able to put all those pieces together, it's possible that we would have been able to prevent it. So that's the goal.
Barbara Ramirez with Univision News. How will you ensure that the privacy of the students and the staff at the school and the parents will be there, for people who have digital security concerns about this type of surveillance?
I think it's really important to note that this is public safety related, and so you're going to have police officers and Albuquerque police officers who are viewing this security footage only.
Well, part of our agreement is that, remember, there's a difference between our cameras and their cameras. Their cameras are inside the school. We don't look at theirs unless there is a shooting or a major incident that triggers that. And that's how that agreement has worked now for several years. This doesn't change any of that. It's actually the other way. Now they can look at our cameras, which we're already looking at. And as a reminder, we do not share any of our information with the federal government. I think we've been through that. And now that's also state law. So neither of us are allowed to share information with ICE by state law that just passed a couple of weeks ago.
Alex with KOAT. How often will the drones like this be deployed? Or are they going to be a part of this proactive monitoring that's going on? Can you just talk about at what point that info is going to get shared?
The drones are often deployed if we have a call for service, but as I mentioned earlier, we do have proactive measures as well. And so it could be if we have a suspicious person in the area, launching the drone from the Southwest substation, monitoring that area, or it could be proactive efforts where it's patrolling the area and an officer is dispatched if it sees something in the suspicious.
Will an announcement be made when the drone is going to be in the area, or is it, students will be outside on the playground or something and they're seeing a drone in the sky wondering what's going on?
There's not an announcement that is made, no.
Is this gonna be used only for potential security threats or also maybe disciplinary stuff, like kids cutting class, not being where they're supposed to be?
No, we wouldn't use it for kids cutting class or surveillance on students. It really is used in the case of an emergency. One of the other things to note that's really, when I think it was Jessica that asked the question about parents, a lot of times, unfortunately, our schools will have what we call a shelter in place because something is happening in the neighborhood. And often without communication, it's really delayed in the school as far as what's happening in the neighborhood that's impacting the school to stay safe. So this really will help with that communication for parents and for the school and students to know that when there is something in a neighborhood that we're working all together to increase communication and make sure that we know what's happening in the neighborhood that's impacting or could be impacting the school, and we're able to really help in communication. And anytime adults are communicating effectively, it benefits the students.
Any other questions?
Yes, what sort of difficulties did APD and APS's police have to overcome to get to this point? Because it's 2026, were we able to have done this sooner, or?
I think the communication with APD and APS has always been there. We work very well together. However, we're using technology to make things better across the city and for our students. And so just to elaborate a little bit on the example that Mayor said, there was another high school within the city where there was an alleged shooting. We had several calls coming in from parents and students, right, because it's very concerning if you have a kiddo there. And as the calls were coming in, we got word that there was someone with a gun in the parking lot or a gun a street away. And it took time for us to deploy officers to that area. But with something like a drone and the technology that we have now, we can immediately see what is happening and dispel any rumors or concerns or verify that they are real and then respond appropriately at that time.
And this is an employee of APS or APD?
Yes. Any further questions? Okay, thank you, everybody.